members, one and all of the Salivation Nation, Elon Musk chimes in on gold. You might as well have crypto, he says. And, when Elon Musk speaks about these types of things, well, people are starting to pay attention for sure. And it has drawn the ire of another person that we're familiar with, Peter Schiff, a name that we have all come to know, as he is essentially a bullion dealer, and he has had some exchanges here. The two back and forth, and we're going to explore this in this article from decrypt.co. A fascinating exchange and some interesting news with regards to Bitcoin. It is certainly becoming more and more headline grabbing as of late. It has been a huge week. We know that Bitcoin is now over $57,000 per Bitcoin. The digital currency has secured over $1 trillion in market capitalization this week alone, making up the bulk of the crypto market's total market capitalization of $1.7 trillion. It's amazing. The currency's recent success has also put the gold-Bitcoin ratio at an all-time low, meaning that the price of gold relative to Bitcoin is the lowest it's been since Bitcoin came into existence. This is an encouraging sign for those who have long argued that Bitcoin may be a superior store of value to gold. But, we know the history of gold versus the history of Bitcoin, but many people really don't care about that anymore as Bitcoin is making its rise and continuing to climb up the ladder. We'll look at the price chart here momentarily. Bitcoin's high price has caught the ire of a gold bug in the defense of a newly formed Bitcoin bull. So Schiff Gold chairman and precious metals dealer Peter Schiff jumped on a tweet published yesterday by Elon Musk, in which the Tesla CEO echoed verbatim a tweet he wrote before Christmas, saying that Bitcoin is almost as BS as fiat money. And that's a fascinating tweet for sure. Musk tweets to his 47.4 million followers influence crypto prices dramatically. And we know that has certainly helped bring Bitcoin into where it is now because of what Tesla has done in its announcement. But also, there's been some talk that that Tesla may get into gold as well. In fact, the tweet exchange with MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor may have inclined the Tesla man towards Bitcoin in the first place. Schiff managed to lure Musk into a conversation about comparing gold with Bitcoin as a store of value. Schiff replied to Musk that I agree. I just think Bitcoin, which is digital fiat, is even more BS than paper fiat issued by central banks. Gold is not BS. It's real money and better than both. And I tend to agree with him there, although I'm not anti-Bitcoin, but I do think it's still very speculative. So this is fascinating, that tweet is. And then the Tesla CEO replied to Schiff. And this is what he says. An email saying that you have gold is not the same as having gold. But I don't understand that exchange because Peter Schiff didn't say anything about emails here. He's saying gold itself is not BS and it's real money. But he basically says that you might as well have crypto if you are talking about an email saying you have gold. So essentially, anybody can make the claim, and including a digital ledger or whatever, or an ETF that says, hey, we've got the gold. But unless you actually can prove that and back it up, well, you might as well have crypto. Maybe that's what he's saying here. He says that money is just data that allows us to avoid the inconvenience of barter. That data, like all data, is subject to latency and error. The system will evolve to that which minimizes both. That's a reasonable statement. And this is something certainly is worthy of examination. And maybe that's where he is talking about Bitcoin's ledger system that is based off of blockchain. Musk is implying that technology such as Bitcoin, beefed up by cryptographic security, which is the blockchain, could provide more error-free ways of recording value than the systems we currently have in place. Perhaps even better than an email from Schiff Gold saying that you have gold. Well, and I guess that's maybe what he's referring to. If Schiff Gold is storing the gold for you, you are giving faith in this email or in a statement that says that the gold is there that you have purchased. The world's richest man has stood as a powerful symbol for the growing institutional adoption of Bitcoin since Tesla disclosed last week that it had converted $1.5 billion of its balance sheet into Bitcoin. And here we see this chart, and it is certainly an upward trajectory. Amazing to see its climb well above $20,000, $30,000 just less than about a month ago, and now it is nearing $57,000. This week in particular, Musk has toned down some of his bullishness about crypto. On Friday, he tweeted, "Tesla's actions is not directly reflective of my opinion. Having some Bitcoin, which is simply a less dumb form of liquidity than cash, is an adventurous enough for an S&P 500 company." There that is. And Musk then tweeted verbatim the same words he tweeted before Christmas of last year, that Bitcoin is almost as BS as fiat money. The key word is almost. So by that comparison, him saying that about gold is BS, but really it's the email is about gold. In other words, a statement saying that you have gold stored at in a vault somewhere. But notice he's not talking about gold that's in your hands, in your possession, which, as you know, I am a proponent for having the physical in your possession or near your possession, at least somewhere that you definitely can trust, somewhere within driving distance that you can get to it almost any time you need the gold or want to see your gold. But thankfully, I'm in a position where I can do that, and I encourage you to as well. Have a family of member or friend that you can trust, or several of them, that you can store some of your gold or silver or both outside of your present location. I think that is crucial and valuable. That way you are not having it all in one place. Spreading your wealth around in that way is definitely admirable and praiseworthy, because you are minimizing your physical risk for sure. But that's another point. Musk hasn't always been subtle about his crypto bullishness. At the end of January, he changed his Twitter bio to say Bitcoin. He also has shared bullish memes about Dogecoin with Kiss bassist Gene Simmons and rapper Snoop Dogg. Now, I wonder why Dogecoin is all the rage these days. Musk's current Twitter display picture of an anime girl with laser eyes is another not so subtle nod to Bitcoin. The laser eyes are a form of social media signaling among Bitcoin holders. CoinShare executive Meltem Demirors and MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor are currently sporting them on Twitter, among others. Though Musk has been trying to be more measured in his recent thoughts about crypto, his bullish vibes are coming through loud and clear. And as I reported on previously, there has been talk about Elon Musk and Tesla maybe diversifying into gold or gold holdings, GLD, ETFs. We'll see. But in the end, really, everything that's been said in this exchange can be summed up in one phrase. You don't own it unless you hold it. You don't hold it unless you own it. And that is the key here. And with Bitcoin, how do you own Bitcoin? How do you really know that you are secure with Bitcoin? The most secure way you can hold Bitcoin is in a hardware wallet, essentially a thumb drive that's been encrypted that stores your Bitcoin there. And that could be destroyed in a fire or what have you. Now, It's unlikely that it will be if you protect it or you put it in a fire protected vault. Whereas gold, even if it's out in the open and fire consumes your whole dwelling, and that gold, in theory, could be reconstituted and reformed into bars or rounds, so to speak, or what have you. Gold never goes away. It never disappears. And that's why it has survived for thousands of years. Over 6 millennia, gold has stood the test of time. And I think that is something that cannot be said for any other asset class out there. By the way, including fiat dollars. These fiat dollars, they are can be burned up, even though they're technically not made out of paper, but they are made of flammable material, and then they're all gone. So gold is the ultimate form of money. It is what central bankers store around the world for nations on behalf of these nations, and the central banker of central bankers has designated as such as a tier 1 asset. And so I think that's something that really needs to be explained to Mr. Elon Musk. And it may not be a bad idea for him to take the Prince Initiative. That's right, the Prince Initiative. You've seen me post a video about that. I will actually put a link to it in the end screen of this video. Prince, before he died, he held several bars of physical gold, and it was discovered after he passed that he had those. And I would advise anybody and everybody to hold gold as a way to diversify your portfolio for sure, as we see the movement in the upwards direction of these particular cryptocurrencies, which I'm not against, but nonetheless, if you want something to be totally independent of everything else, find something that has intrinsic value, that is independent of everything. It cannot be taxed. It doesn't provide a dividend. It just sits there. It's boring. And there are many times where I just love boring, because in my mind, it's quite exciting to see the shine of gold in your physical possession. It's simple. It's discreet. There's a lot of value packed in a small space. To me, that sells me on gold, no matter what Bitcoin does, even if it goes to over $100,000. And but nonetheless, that is why I have been so concentrated and so focused on gold, especially gold, and in the physical form over the past several years. Although I've held gold for well over 30 years in some form, just not nearly as much as I've been able to accumulate recently, just because of the focusing of my strategies there. But what I do is not maybe advisable for everyone. You do what you're comfortable doing, and look at what other people are saying about it. You know, you might consider Elon Musk's words here on gold. You might as well have crypto as a cogent argument. And, you know, maybe for you that's good. But I will say that nothing beats the physical. Yes, let's get physical. I want to hear the silver talk. I want to hear the gold talk. That's right. That's what it's about. So there you have it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.